Hello everybody, this is Evan Leonetti again reporting from Roseburg, ODFW. We're checking in on our winter steelhead fish eggs to fry program again, and today the fry have reached around 1100 TUs, and if you remember, a TU is simply a measurement of development using the water temperature. So the TU is measured by taking the current water temperature, which we're at 50 degrees today, and subtract the freezing temperature of water, or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and that gives us a temperature unit per day of 18. So we've had quite a few days. We're right around 1100 now, and 1100 typically you would start seeing some what we call swim up fry or button up fry, and you can see that now with these the video you can see in front of you. You can see that there are some fish swimming around. They've lost a lot of their egg sac and they're looking more and more like a fish and less kind of like a larva. Now you can also see there's other fish though that still have their egg sac. So much like humans and other organisms and other animals, fish develop at different rates. So some of these fish just are going to develop more slowly and some are more quickly. Those might lead to advantages later on in their life. They might be able to eat faster and grow faster than their friends that haven't quite absorbed their egg sac yet. But we're getting close. We're probably just a week or two away from releasing these fish, so stay tuned for that. But another topic that I want to talk to you guys about was native versus non-native fish. So when we're talking about native versus non-native, just gotta try and figure out what that actually means. So a native fish, simply put, is a fish that has been there and has been there since basically the beginning of time, so since the development of that species. So non-native is pretty simple. You can imagine that it's not a species that has been there forever and was likely introduced or brought there from somewhere else. So when we're talking about here locally in the Umpqua, one of the most popular fisheries here in the Umpqua is smallmouth bass fishing, and a lot of people misunderstand and think that those fish are native because they've been here for so long and generations of people have fished for them and have enjoyed fishing for them, but sometimes those fish can cause problems. And one of my probably go-to examples for non-native versus native is actually up in Diamond Lake, which is also in the Umpqua district. Diamond Lake is a very popular trout fishery, but several times throughout its history, Diamond Lake has been inundated with non-native fish species. Now it's really interesting because this non-native fish species is called a tui chub. And the tui chub are native to Oregon. However, they're just not found in the Umpqua Basin naturally. Tui chub were introduced likely by anglers who were using them as live bait, and then they decided to just let them go at the end of the day. Well, it caused a huge problem. The tui chub took over the lake. They disturbed the balance of the lake or the ecology of the lake, and actually caused the water to become essentially toxic. There was blue-green algae blooms. Couldn't go swimming, you couldn't let your dog on the water. Fishing was really bad because the tui chub had taken over the lake and there wasn't much room left for rainbow trout. So not too long ago, a little over 10 years ago, ODFW with a lot of partners treated the lake, removed all the fish out of the lake, and restocked it with rainbow trout, and now it's doing much better. So it's a very good example of why non-native fish can be a problem where they're not supposed to be. We have a lot of great native fish and fisheries here, or fish to go fishing for. We have our winter steelhead, those are native. We also have Chinook salmon, those are also native. But we also have a lot of non-native fish species. Fish species like brown trout, or striped bass, or largemouth bass, or we've mentioned before, smallmouth bass. Those are all non-native fish species. In the right places and under the right management, they can be okay for the environment, but sometimes they're not. Some of these fish eat other native fish, and so it's a bit of a topic of debate or discussion whether those fish should be there or shouldn't be there. So you'll have to make up your own mind on that one. Well, we'll be checking it again shortly, I'm sure. Thank you much for listening today, and we'll talk to you again soon.